Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the No Laying Up podcast, the No Laying Up live show presented by our good friends at Roback. We are affectionately calling this the Dog House.
Woof, woof, pig.
If you're watching on the East Coast, drop us a note. Thank you very much. It was a good day at Pebble, and we're going to get into it. Joining us right off the top, live from his house in Florida, Mr. Chris Solomon. How are you today, sir?
FOMO is real, guys. You guys have a sick house. The Dog House looks fantastic. I wish I was there. I wish I was at the U.S. Women's Open. I wish I was at Pebble. Circumstances did not allow it, but I'm very envious of you guys and the time you're having out there this week.
Well, we appreciate you staying up late and hanging with us. I'm going to come back to you, Solly. Let me introduce the rest of the crew. To my left, Miss Jordan Perez. Jordan, how was your day today?
What's up? My day was great. Had a nice day walking around Pebble. Followed some people around. Kind of drowned in the Roseanne crowd, as many people did. But yeah, overall, pretty good day. Felt like it was a little mild out there, but we'll get into that.
Got a little jebby late in the afternoon. We'll get into that. To my right, Mr. TC.
Hello, Big.
You were cold today.
Oh, it's freezing.
You got that thin
like
Florida blood.
58. That's not cold to you guys?
No, it felt good.
He was right at home.
Yeah.
No excuses.
Good
I'm in
day.
a skirt today.
You know, good day. It was a little jebby, it was a little mid out there. Course looks good. We'll get into it.
Last but not least, I mean, Mr. Do-It-All right now. Running the board, participating. Mr. Cody McBride, the Sarge. How was your first competition day at Pebble Beach?
It was awesome. It was truly a special moment, I think, when we were out there this morning seeing the first tee ball go off. But I also want to get ahead of something. I want to apologize to all the viewers. We had quite a bit of delays today. We're doing this together. We're on the road. We have a board. We're bringing in Solly. There's a lot of different things that go into it than we normally do it. We do it remotely. It's very easy when we have one person per box, as they say. When we started doubling up things, we ran into some technical difficulties, and it happens. Listen, I'm here. We're going to learn from our mistakes. We're going to improve, and tomorrow's going to be a better show. The reason why I think everybody naturally is talking a little bit slower is because we have a major echo in our ear. What I figured out is actually if you mute it right now, the echo goes away.
Sure.
And then when Solly gets ready to talk, we're right back at it. So you just got to watch Solly.
You're so smart. I don't know why.
Here we go. Now we're back in business. I'm here to help you guys out. Let's get this show going.
Going to be a great show.
Going to be a great one. Let's thank Roback. Roback Activewear. We are all wearing the Roback hoodies. Truly an essential piece of clothing today, walking around Pebble Beach. And you all know how much we love Roback, and we're beyond pumped to be rocking it here at the U.S. Open. It feels like every tournament we go to, we see that subtle dog logo and two stripes on the back. And if you go to a tournament, wear Roback. Simple as that. I want to talk about three of their products. First, their performance polos. You can't really see mine, but I am wearing one. They just hit different, whether it's USA-themed designs, which are obviously fitting for this week, or their classic solids and stripes. These polos look clean.
Or the Tanimal.
I am kind of Tanimal adjacent.
Kind of Tanimal. You're wearing a Tanimal outfit.
Yeah. Well, they're kind of khaki pants. Anyway, TC. The polos have four-way stretch. They're moisture-wicking fabric. The polos are made to get you through a warm summer day on the course. Second, as I mentioned, we're all wearing the performance hoodies. They're the stretchiest, softiest hoodies in golf. Jordan, I'm going to put you on the spot. How's your hoodie?
Very, very soft, very stretchy. I could live in this forever and probably will.
Wonderful.
Softiest.
If you want to be comfortable and relaxed on the course, wear a Roback hoodie. If you want to be comfortable and relaxed off the course, wear a Roback hoodie. You guys know we can't take these hoodies off. Last but not least, the Roback Performance Q-Zip. These are a game changer. Nothing beats rocking a Roback Q-Zip for an early round of golf. They're soft, stretchy, comfortable. Honestly, we can't take them off. I encourage everybody, go to roback.com, use code NLU. You get a generous 20% off your first order through the end of this week. Roback is spelled RHOBACK.com. And that's 20% off all polos, Q-zips, hoodies, and more with code NLU. The summer is calling, so make sure to check them out now. Sincerely thank Roback for, allowing us to be out here, for setting up the doghouse. Usually it's a bad thing when you're in the doghouse, but guys, I'd say it's a great thing that we're in the doghouse.
Some of us might be in the doghouse though for 7 days of Pebble.
Yeah, we you know what? I wish we saw some more dog in some of these players out here.
Yeah, not a lot. A lot of people just laying down, got intimidated by the rough early, but man, big. It was an awesome day out there.
It was. Mr. Chris, let me bring you in. Who won the day for you?
It's probably HJ Kim, I would think. Probably won the day. If we're looking at TC's weather forecast for tomorrow, we're seeing potential for the worst of the wind being in the afternoon. HJ Kim was in the afternoon today. I mean, she'll be out in the morning. It's going to be windy as well, but less wind. And she's in the house at T1, 4 under par, which is probably a lot better score than it looks like. If you look at for the first time ever, we got strokes gained in a U.S. women's major. She's gained 7. Both her and Zealand gained 7.5 shots on the field. So it just puts a little bit of those 1 under par, those even par rounds into perspective. Brooke Henderson at 1 under par there to finish the round with a birdie there on 18. That felt like that might mean something, but it was a good, solid first day. Great to see the women playing Pebble Beach, something that's been very heavily anticipated. But man, I'm with you, TC. There was just some disappointing performances today. Some early exiting, some early vacating of the premises from some names that's kind of been a little bit of a theme this year in the women's majors, and kind of a bit of a disappointment, to be honest. And we go through this kind of with every major, though. We get so amped up, and Thursday just kind of can fall a teeny bit flat. And the real fun's going to come this weekend with the wind and it firming up and a real competition coming down the stretch. Pebble Beach is what we're waiting for. So I give it a 6 out of 10 for today for the best it could have possibly been.
Sully, I'm with you there. I don't think I don't know. Kind of lacking on the first page of the leaderboard. We've got a lot of hitters lurking though. We got Leona finished strong. Brooke showed some dog there. Allison Corpuz. What's that?
Said woof woof.
Woof woof. Amari Avery, really good performance there. I know Jordan will talk heavily about that. Patty Tabataniket.
We have a Patty sighting.
Patty T in the house.
Don't do this, Sarge. Don't. You did this on Thursday at another.
Is Patty
major
back?
No, we're not.
No, we need like two or three more rounds before. I think Yuka's lurking. Celine Boutier's lurking. We wish we would have gotten a lot more from Rose today, but didn't look great.
She doesn't sprint out of the blocks.
Yeah. Madeline showed some big fight
at the end.
Yeah.
You
ejected at some point.
Bad stuff in the middle of her round.
So listen, I don't want to go down the leaderboard yet.
You just did.
I'm just saying I was out there. I was kind of hanging out around 3 through 8 or 9. Conditions weren't easy. Like the wind was down, but the conditions weren't crazy easy. It's cold and kind of gray. So the grayness kind of has the energy levels down a little bit. It's supposed to kind of burn off as the week goes along though. So
I think that's good.
Say,
yeah.
If I may.
Yeah, go ahead, Sully.
Sorry. I was just going to say, from watching on television, I'll tell you, Pebble Beach, the things that are supposed to cause you discomfort at Pebble Beach cause you discomfort when the ball doesn't go 330 yards. Like all of the shots, the distances that a lot of these players are coming in from, all of the nuances and the features around the greens. Look, they're not like my favorite style of features ever, but those features do come to life when the margins become a little bit thinner from 170, 180 yards. When players are coming in with hybrids, the precision has to be that much better. Watching Rose be just a bit off with her irons today and hold up in some of the worst spots and worst bunkers around the greens. The slopes come to life. Everything just comes to life when you're not dropping lob wedges down an elevator shaft at Pebble Beach. And it's been a while, honestly, since we've seen that, because the Pro-Am is a dart fest. And the last U.S. Open we saw here was benign. It was really benign. They got no conditions at all. And that thud is happening. 7 greens, but awesome to watch. There's some serious thud happening with that. And I think this thing is going to come down to a player that can generate a lot of spin. I saw a lot of golf shots not have enough spin on them today, and a lot of players can get away at this level, get away with this style of play on a lot of the courses they play, and this one's going to be different. I really do think it's going to be different, and that was a noticeable thing to watch players not be able to stop the ball close to the pin on 4, not be able to control their spin on 7, and it's just been a while where I've seen Pebble have that much bite.
Well, one of the questions I had in our agenda is a round like today, and will this weekend, is this how Pebble is, quote unquote, supposed to play?
I think so. I mean, again, I go back to watching a lot of these women battle balls way below their feet, like the uncomfortable nature of, hey, trying to get to the back right pin on 16 when the ball's a little above your feet and there's nowhere to miss right, and you got to have like the proper cut spin to get close to that pin. It just felt like, again, a lot of that stuff just stops mattering when the guys are flipping wedges into it. And I think this is a lot closer to how it's supposed to play, because I think again, in my head, I keep thinking Pebble's easy, and it's just not. Like watching a lot of the players that we saw struggle. Lydia Ko struggled with the majority of the day. Jin Young Ko shot 79 today. Nelly Korda was a non-factor today. Like just watching these kind of things snowball, it was exacerbating. It's exactly what we would have wanted to see out of Pebble today.
Sully, we're seating our guests. We got to get them drinks. We're going to do a little appetizers before we let Chef TC cook down the leaderboard. What I want to ask you, what I'm curious about, the 4 of us out here at Pebble, we didn't watch the broadcast. I'm curious how your experience was today watching on television.
Randy, it was, I regret to report, it was not malpractice. Okay. It was
that's a good thing.
Yeah. I know it was quite watchable, if I may say. Now, like very, very, very manageable and small commercial load. It was hard to get up at times. I tried to take a break to do the dishes, do a bunch of stuff around the house. It was kind of tough because there was not many commercial breaks. That was wonderful.
Sully's nesting already.
Oh, believe me, it's a big process. I will say, though, extreme lack of like groups they were actually following. I mean, they showed every shot of Rose and Brooke and Lydia Ko, but I mean, they might have had one camera following a group. I mean, the rest of it was all filmed up from towers, and the effort was not really there to get a bunch more cameras out there. The drone shots were sick. I thought they did a lot of justice and gravitas to Pebble Beach and what makes this tournament special. And it's come a long way already since the Chevron disaster, which sounds like an oil spill, but really that was just the alleged first major of the year was absolutely nothing when it came to a broadcast. And this felt elevated to the point where it's like, dude, if golf coverage looked like that, I wouldn't really complain about it, which is really all we can hope for.
Yeah.
We're getting some comments that the broadcast, the television broadcast, was mainly just the feature group. And
Yes.
that is such a pet peeve of mine, because
That's an Aunt Molly special.
yeah, if you're good, and you should show every Rose shot, right? And I think a lot of people want to watch Rose play golf. So go ahead. If you're going to do that on the broadcast, do that on the broadcast, but pick like a fun, interesting group to make the feature group where people can go online and watch all of their rounds. When they double up and just essentially show the feature group on the television broadcast, it's so infuriating. It's so stupid.
They missed out on Leona big time today. I mean, that was a round to follow this afternoon. Close call at the most recent major that was all of 2 weeks ago, and all of her
Last tournament
on delay. It was they totally whiffed on that. But that's the NBC way of low budgeting these kind of things and not having that many cameras out there and not many announcers, and they don't have. I think it was John Wood and Kay Cockrell were the only on-course announcers I think they had out there, if I had that right. And
I think they moved Tom down.
Was he out on the course? I thought he was.
Tom was on
like
the course. Yes, he
okay.
was.
Apologies for that, but yeah, again, not elevated from what we've gotten used to from women's golf this year, which if it sounds like a backhanded compliment, it definitely is.
One question for you: the USA coverage stopped right after the Rose group finished, and I believe there's no way to watch. There's still people on the course.
No, there's not. There's no way there are.
Well,
Is it-
not like
isn't it
right
dark?
now, but there
Okay.
were.
It's pretty
after
dark.
It's
Road.
not that
Okay.
dark. For like the last hour and a half, it's not that bad.
It's dusk. It wasn't an hour and a half ago.
Would they have cut coverage like that for a men's major? Like, can't you watch all of play somewhere?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't have that much of a problem with it, honestly. It was like 11 o'clock on the East Coast, and I couldn't even. I'm following this tournament as close as I possibly can. I couldn't even tell you who was still on the golf course. Okay, so I think they got the names in that they needed to. Randy, I'll ride with you on anything. I will. We got to draw a line in the sand on what we're going to get worked up about.
Randy's
okay,
mad. Damn it.
Solly, in the interest of getting rid of this echo and delay, is there anything else you need to get off your chest before we let you go to bed?
Jungwon Lee Six Mafia won this tournament 4 years ago, has done jack shit all year. I don't think she has a top 25 all year. Sitting there at T9, that's a name of interest to me. That's surprising to me. We'll see if that lasts 4 rounds. And then Ronnie Yin. I know I'll let you cook, TC, but I believe the reports on the ground have been very good from what you guys have seen out of her, and a very steady
She's
1
good.
under par round. Just again, reminder for major championships, those T13, those 1 under par rounds in round 1 are as good as a 4 under par round. Like, there's just so much golf left to play, and there's a lot of gravity to take place, as we know.
One more question, Solly. Setup wise, not a whole lot of people getting home on the par 5s.
Which was the most predictable thing imaginable, right? As the day went on and watching the final groups come play 18, I was kind of in on it. It was kind of sick. Like, you had to figure out what you wanted to do off the tee, and HJ Kim laid up or hit driver, I think, off the tee, but hit it right behind the tree and had to like figure out a layup around the tree. All of a sudden, the navigating of that hole really kind of flipped on its head from figuring out how you were going to lay up. But I don't get the point of it. I mean, it's one of the most iconic holes. Like, give them a chance, at least the longer hitters, to get there. For almost everyone, I think it was I can't see, again, the shot tracker data. I would have thought I could see a chart of every shot hit today, but I can't find that anywhere. But I want to see some players be able to go for it and hit that shot on 18. And that didn't even seem close to really happening today. So I want to see some action on some of these par 5s.
Yeah, that's fair. A few people got home on 2. People were close on 6. Lexi had a short eagle putt on 6. I don't think anybody was getting home on 14 regardless.
No.
And the wind was a bit in. I mean, it wasn't strong, but it was a bit in on 18. So we'll see. Solly, we'll let you go to bed. Thank you for staying up with us. And good luck building that nest.
2 West Coast majors is a lot. That's a lot for us East Coasters. But have a great week, guys. I'm envious and looking forward to catching up on the show in the morning.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks, Ollie. Oh, let's get these things out.
Oh, my gosh. Yeah, take these earpieces out.
God, it's so bad.
Lord.
Guys, I had to cook. I had to run off screen and cook there. No, our Thai delivery showed up. This place closes early, man.
I know. We got to take care of our hungry bellies. Well, we touched on some stuff. Let's go around the room. Jordan, who won the day in your opinion?
Who won the day in my opinion? Do we want my... I'm sorry. I'm going to lean my amateur opinion a little bit. I watched Amari Avery for a few holes, and
as you should have.
Her ball striking and her putting was just unreal. And it's funny because I talked to her yesterday, and she's like, I can drive him further than most of the girls in this field. And I was like, yeah, I love that dog. And like, not that you have to out here, but she's top 10 in driving distance. And like, that's what I want out of people. And like, that's the fire I want. And I love seeing an amateur like that get after it. She's in some of the best form she's been in a long time. And her just kind of taking Pebble in the first time she's really ever played it competitively at all, really was super impressive to me.
Codeman, who won the day for you?
Man, that's a tough question. I would say maybe the volunteers. We could start there. Rough introduction for them, trying to get ShotLink under control. It's a big day. It's a big
day for them.
I know you gave them a motivational speech. I thought they were in good hands, but clearly we had some people falling out there. Ambulance was called at one point in time. I hope it wasn't for one of the elderly volunteers. You never know what happens. But ultimately, I would say maybe like I think this is a very good day for the USGA. I think it was like a timid setup. I would say I think they could have pushed it in some spots. I think they could have laid back in others and give them some more scoring opportunities.
They're definitely feeling their way through it.
But I think coming off of Pine Needles and the setup and the debacle that created last year, I think they're very, very happy with the way things are looking right now. And I mean, it's weird to say that, the host organization, but I think it's a big win for them.
I would even add, and where I thought you were going was just more broadly speaking. I think, again, having this tournament finally arriving, having the women compete at Pebble Beach is a big deal. I hope people got to see I thought KVV's video essay today was wonderful and kind of set the stage and hammered home the importance of what this week is. And also, I think it's really cool. The USGA invited every U.S. Open, Women's Open champion still living out this week. And they had a wonderful dinner earlier in the week. I saw a number of, big name golfers out today. I got to say hi to Project Pat Hurst, Solheim Cup member. She is just delightful. And it feels like they really made an effort to make this a homecoming and to really build the history and to make it a big deal. So I commend them for that. TC, who won the day in your opinion?
It's a good question. I feel like the USC women's golf program between Allison Corpuz, who's got that dog in her, and Mari Avery, I think they played well.
We're still waiting on Cody to apologize, I think, by the way.
Yeah.
USC women's golf hater.
Yeah.
That's not
more
true.
specifically Amari Avery hater.
No, actually, I was in defense of Amari Avery. It was not Amari Avery.
No, I would say I think the 7th hole won the day.
Yeah.
I stood up there and watched that hole for like an hour, and it was the greens are firm. The wind was coming off the right and just straight off the right, and watching ladies hit, try to hold a cut up against it or ride the wind with a draw. I had more fun watching that hole than I've had. That's what I thought 15 at LACC was going to provide during the US Open. And instead of, it's a downhill hole. I felt like I was out there watching the 1982 US Open. It was kind of that gray marine layer. We need some sunshine. We need the sun to come out, but it felt like kind of a throwback nostalgic event out there. I know the leaderboard's not all that great right now. I think there's the ingredients there that we can put together.
It's better than if you just first glance.
It's better than it was 2 or 3 hours ago too. Yeah,
that's what I mean.
But it was almost like I was saying this to Cody earlier. It was almost like the one of the tournaments. I think it was when Happy Gilmore beat the hell out of Bob Barker.
Sure.
It was really misty and foggy and gray out, and they're in the Pacific Northwest or something. That's how I feel out here today. It felt like a total throwback tournament of this is how the PGA Tour probably used to feel back in the 1970s, 1980s. Just there was an intimacy about it, but there was also a buzz. The crowd was good. There was a ton of people following rows. Yeah. There was 3 groups in a row. I thought the way that they grouped everybody was great today. There was 3 or 4 outstanding groups in a row. So
I totally agree with that. I think I just will shout out. I think Solly mentioned Hugh Jo Kim, 68 in the afternoon wave.
So good.
Yeah, she was really good. She made a bunch of putts. I believe the stroke gain data bears out just how good of a round on the green she had.
Well, you walked with that group quite a bit today.
Yeah.
You want to talk about that? Because that's who Matt
played with. She didn't miss through 8 holes, and nearly honestly, I thought she aced 5. It burned the edge.
Should have made the putt on 6. That was
should
have
made the putt on 6. Birdied 8, super impressive. And it was like, holy smokes. She stalled out there a little in the middle. I mean, we talked about 9-10. Those are stout holes. Made a couple of good up and downs. She did make a bogey somewhere, but she was rock solid. It was really impressive. And I think we have to mention Janet Lin, Jiu Lin. I mean, I didn't watch her in person. She was out early, but for her to shoot 68, I mean, she's probably the hottest, if one of the hottest women in the world right now. I mean, she finished tied for third 2 events ago in Grand Rapids. She finished tied for third at Baltusrol 2 weeks ago, and now here she is tied for first after round 1. She is on fire. We'll see if she can keep it going. I think it's a big ask to play 4 rounds at Baltusrol, even though they did get a week off and go 4 rounds out here at Pebble, but certainly impressive stuff from her.
Randy, the Irish are going to be all over you for not mentioning, between Leona and then Anya Donegan.
Yeah.
I mean, they're going to be furious with you.
I think that's pronounced Onya.
Anya. It is Anya.
Anya.
I think it's Onya. I'm just go back and check the tapes. I don't want them coming after us.
I'm advocating.
I'm
for
sure they'll
Anya.
let us know.
Well, bottom line,
100%.
we're almost half an hour into this thing, and we have not mentioned the amateur sensation as of yet.
Well, we just did.
She was out early today. It was kind of one of those things where it's like somebody sprints out, and then this is like the major where Charlie Hoffman rushes out, shoots
I
a
know.
67, and then you're like, all right, like that's not going to be the case tomorrow, but we got to deal with it tonight, right?
So let's mention the amateurs. Anya?
Onya.
Onya
Yeah.
Onya Donegan tied for third. She shot 69. We have Benedetta Moresco shot 70. She's tied for 9th.
Italian.
Bogey free.
That's crazy impressive. And then the aforementioned Amari Avery, she shot a 70. She's tied for 9th. Yeah, what do we need to know about Moresco and Donegan?
Well, Onya is seemingly following in the footsteps of Ingrid potentially from last year. 2 Louisianimals. I'm just
You need to shout out to the Levitard show. We might send you on a walk into the ocean for that.
Anya's been a factor this year a lot on LSU. She actually went to Indiana first and then transferred. But no, I mean, I was really impressed with her today as she went like on a 3 birdie tear. I think at the beginning of the front 9, if I'm not mistaken. I think it was from between 2 to 4. But yeah, I believe her clubs were, or her driver was destroyed.
It was not destroyed. The shaft, the shaft.
It was United
broken.
Airlines, so TC needs to jump
Which
in.
I gotta wonder what kind of travel bag is she using? Does she have the thing on top?
Context.
Some of this should be like it's also on you to protect your shit
Right.
when you're
We need to
traveling.
take some responsibility.
Yeah, personal
Yeah.
responsibility.
Indeed.
Her clubs made it. That's more than could be said for American Airlines.
Well, okay, this is
She
the
made
trap
it,
draw.
right?
It's in the trap draw. Jordan, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, she's in a great position. As she was saying, she liked the course. She wasn't exactly the links that she's used to playing, but still liked how it fit her. I thought this was interesting. She also competed in Gaelic football and hurling growing up.
Hurling's sick.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm excited to see what Anya can do.
I mean, I
tonight.
have no idea what either of those things really are, but they sound awesome.
Seem intense.
Yeah. Anything about what's the deal with Benedetta Moresco?
Benedetta's always kind of hung around. I mean, and I admittedly didn't really have her on my radar that much this week, but she was really impressive today. I want to say she might have been the only bogey-free round, if I'm not mistaken. You can fact check me on that. But yeah, I was really impressed. She's always just kind of hung around. Yeah, and then the top, Amari. I mean, the amateurs kind of went to the top of the leaderboard pretty early. I was really impressed by that. I think they really capitalized today.
Do you want to apologize for Saki Baba?
Do you want to apologize?
I was
for
going to say
Saki
we
Baba?
might.
I
Well,
said it. She wasn't a course fit this
where did
week.
Angela Zhang finish? 4 over.
Yeah, she's right there with Saki Baba, Lilia Vu.
Oh,
Jin Young Ko,
So she's 7
Anna
over.
Davis is right there as well.
Guys, I
Yeah.
think we all need to apologize for our amateur picks.
Yeah.
Tough.
Listen,
Pitiful.
you know what? It's going to even out tomorrow. The wave.
Yeah.
You know, we're going to have some weird splits. I think as far as the AM PM stuff going on.
Randy,
Uh,
I need you to let him loose. First and foremost, it's time for TC to cook. Secondly, I got to change a camera real quick, so it has to point at TC. Most importantly,
The
okay?
camera go out.
It's close, but
Okay.
I want to do it before all the recording and
Can I-
everything gets messed up.
Yes, I want to set you up, TC.
Okay.
I do want to say for anybody listening,
Get my mise en place. And
I saw some tweets. I just want to reiterate the coverage for tomorrow, Friday, round 2. These are Eastern times, United States Eastern times. Coverage will be on Peacock from 4 to 6 p.m. and then on USA Network from 6 to 11 p.m. Now, in addition to that, if you want to watch Rose, Brooke, and Lydia, they are the feature group. They tee off at 11:50 a.m. Eastern. So go to uswomensopen.com or in the USGA app, and you can watch every shot of Rose, Brooke, Lydia starting at 11:50 a.m. Eastern.
God, who are they going to show
And
on the
then,
main broadcast?
oh, right. And then the second feature group, this shocks me, but at 5:35 p.m., they're going back to Jin Young Ko, Nelly, and Lexi. That was an absolute horror show in round 1. But if for some reason you want to watch every shot of theirs in round 2, that will be at 5:30 Eastern. So hopefully everybody can find coverage tomorrow. TC, let's cook, baby. Let's go down the
We have
leaderboard.
not mentioned Nasa Hataoka yet. Nasa went out this morning, got out early, shot 3 under. I think, impressive stuff. I'd look for that to.
She's super solid. Has not won a major, but she's sniffed around. She is, this is no fluke. She has a ton of game. I do think I think with Brooke birdieing 18, I believe there were 13 players in the morning wave under par, and I think Brooke made it 7 players in the afternoon under par. So an advantage there in the morning. We'll
I think
look
that
to see how
advantage is going to
tomorrow.
get totally flipped on his head tomorrow, where
God
it'll
willing.
be, like honestly, we're 4 under right now leading. I think by the end of Saturday, we could be at +4 leading.
God, that'd be so sick.
It'd be, it's not going to play easy. The par 5s are not easy. There's not that many birdies out there. I think they'll keep it accessible tomorrow. I want to see him move stuff around, like move some tees around. But yeah, going down the leaderboard, I don't know a whole lot about Bailey Tardy. And she, like, I'm trying to shout out an American woman because there's not a whole lot of positives to pull from what transpired today with the American women. As we were kind of putting them on the spot on our preview.
So
And-
she's not, I mean, she's been around for a while. I believe she graduated in 2016, I want to say. This is her 4th US Open. She's never made a cut before this.
Doesn't feel all that sustainable.
I apologize. I was going to say, I apologize to the Tardy family. I know they're probably listening right now. I'm not sure we need to worry much about her the rest of the tournament.
Okay.
But not a great day for me. We're going to talk about that more this week.
Let's see what else we got. I think Brooks lurking. We do have to talk about Brooks' pace of play.
I think we got to talk about everybody's pace of play.
I think Brooke was especially egregious today. It was bad.
I think that group got in at like 5.5 hours.
It was bad. Brooks' pace of play is bad. I saw some really concerning things between Lydia and Rose.
Yeah.
Lydia asked if Rose wanted her to go mark on 6.
On 6.
And Rose waved her off and said no, and then proceeded to hit one past the flag and almost backstop.
Whoa.
Disgusting.
Not good.
Disgusting.
Accusation.
You might need to go find Rose and just have a quiet word with her. We gotta nip this in the bud.
I might have to make a citizen's arrest. Like Randy was out there today.
Yeah, we saw Condi, Sarge. We saw Condi out there. Condi Rice. I told TC, should I go make a citizen's arrest on her? we'll get a flight to the
You're a
Hague.
bad guy.
Oh, that's bad. I'm
Um,
sorry.
Solly talked about Lee 6.
American hero.
We've got Amy Yang. Amy Yang lost strokes off the tee. Really didn't hit it that great. Putted her butt off. So wouldn't look for that to necessarily continue.
Creepily.
Yeah, we got KVV here. KVV. Say hello.
Hey, gang. I'm very excited. We just
Come sit down.
Okay, I'm coming around.
I will say Amy Yang's had a good season. And she had a
Yeah.
good, I mean,
I'm not like slagging her off or anything.
No.
Yeah.
I'm just saying,
Yeah.
like, she's been on tour. She's not young. She's been on tour.
Yeah.
She's still my favorite swing. I think she has the best tempo in the world of anybody.
I'm just saying she's teeing off at like 118 tomorrow. Like, she might get vaporized. All right.
Sure.
We got Brooke. We got Patty Tavatanikit.
We're skipping some people. I think we need to talk about. Do we say
We got
Allison
Angel.
Corpuz?
We already shouted out Allison. She's
No, it's
or
just- there's
you,
a
you
little
want
bit of
you want
negligence
to dive
there.
deep? Like this is the down the leaderboard section. We can always circle back to somebody.
All right. We'll let
Okay.
TC.
I'm
we
sorry
got-
to just get here. Is this down leaderboard going on for 2 hours here?
We're gonna
no.
know. So
Just
like
double-checking.
I'm
Policing.
excited about this group at T13 personally. We've got Angel Yin, we've got Miss Yin, the
We got two yen.
ascendant Chinese player. We saw Angel first thing.
Are you
this
double
morning.
clutching on her first name?
I can't pronounce it.
Ruining. Yeah,
Ruining.
She's really good.
I know.
It's like,
Her swing's like
I mean, obviously, like,
fantastic.
breaking news. She just won the KPMG.
she's a predator off the tee.
She's really good.
Yeah.
and I like what she's about. Everything I saw from her today, I'm all in on her.
And then beyond that, we've got Jody Ewart Shadoff. We've got Yuka Sasso, one shot past that. We've got Minji lurking. We've got Maya Stark. She had a great finish today. We got to know her a little bit up in San Francisco.
TC, can I talk Brooke Henderson a little bit for a sec? Because
We're-
we watched all of her today.
I'm sorry. Are you gonna talk pace of play?
Listen, it's tough. It's not my tempo, but I will say she's a grinder, man. She made, I want to say, like 7 or 8 like 5-footers that I was like, oh, this is gonna be a miss.
Yeah.
She was awesome in the way that I look. It's painful to watch.
And
the
she's putting with the
process
pin
of
in.
putting with the pin in. There's like a series of
Like 2
misdemeanors
footers
that-
with the pin in.
yeah, a series of misdemeanors between the Skechers and the pin in and the pace of play that add up to a felony over time. But I was really impressed with the way that she didn't like get vaporized and that she could have today.
Did you run into Brooks Brigade out there?
I did see a few Canadians who were very excited, just very enthusiastic about her. Didn't see Adam Stanley, Brooks, normal sort of
Biographer.
Yeah. So that you can't really have a brigade without a reporter like Adam. So.
I like kind of in this stretch here though. So first of all, Brooke, I think her comp for a PGA Tour player, granted they've won different, like they won majors at different stages of their career. I think Brooke and Dustin Johnson are like similar comps.
I'm a little bit surprised that Brooke doesn't hit it farther than she does because she's
got it in the
at
tank,
ball,
I think.
but she doesn't. I mean, like Rose outdrove her regularly.
They made her cut down her driver length.
Yeah,
That's right. They used to have this super long driver.
she had a
about-
46 and a
what a
half or
scandal.
46. Yeah.
What about Brooke to DJ? Help me there.
I don't know, just like
nothing
really-
off, like
Really good
nothing-
ball strikers.
So like just in their golf games.
Yeah, maybe like I don't know. Maybe it's a bad comp, but I don't know. I just see
No,
it
I don't
where
mean
like
to imply that. I just
yeah.
was-
I mean, DJ is a hell of a lot more consistent than Brooke.
I've heard Brooke's personality described as a dial tone. I wouldn't say that about DJ, but there's a little bit of like not a huge like.
Yeah,
I bet they're both big Wayne Gretzky fans.
That's true.
Exactly.
Fans of the Gretzky family in general.
exactly.
I'm sorry to be ignorant about this. What part of Canada is Brooke from?
They both have siblings on the bag.
Ah.
I think Brooke's from up near Ottawa. I could be wrong on that, but I think she's from like
I'm sure we'll get a
northeastern
fact check on
Ontario.
that.
So, you know what? Good round from Marina Alex today.
Really good
72.
round.
I was impressed
And
there.
late
Yeah.
in the day.
Yeah, which she could go feed tomorrow morning. She's off at 8:17. Celine Boutier, T29. Like how far back is too far back?
I don't like to play that on Thursday, but
That's the most fun day to play.
well, I feel like the game today is who shot the, because everybody knows. Maybe everybody doesn't know. You can't win the tournament on
I've
Thursday,
heard that,
guys.
yeah.
But you can
you
lose
can
it.
certainly lose it.
So I'm wondering who shot themselves out of it today.
So
For
we've got.
instance, Nelly Korda shot 76 +4. Are we eliminating +4?
I think +4 could be leading after Saturday.
I think that's honestly, if you shoot even par tomorrow, you're going to fly up the board.
Yeah.
I think Nelly had a really, we followed her in the morning. The body language was bad. I mean, this was like, she actually said to her caddy at one point, we're saying this coaster, she said, I am so tense and I don't know why. It was like she just couldn't relax.
She's from Florida. She's
Yeah.
cold.
I think a lot of, she actually has not played
Cold
great in
world.
cold.
It's that cold that gets in your bones too
Yeah.
up here.
Seeps right deep into you.
Yeah.
This is this most similar I've felt to Florida cold.
I honestly think a lot of the hype was maybe sort of like weighing a little bit on her. And everyone was like, oh, what an iconic thing it would be if Nelly Korda won.
Which is crazy because I
US
feel like that
Open.
hype has shifted to Rose in the last however many weeks. you
Yeah, I
know?
do.
Like,
But maybe it's sort of self like imposed hype that
Yeah.
Nelly's sort of still thinking like, oh, I have all these expectations on me and I'm not living up to them. She didn't play great at, she missed the cut right at KPMG. Like it's been,
Let's
not been good.
let me run down the board a little bit more.
I didn't mean to
And then
interrupt
and then we'll-
essential-
These tickets are building up.
Yeah, yeah. I gotta
get
get the course stuff out. Celine Boutier, she's off tomorrow afternoon. Charlie Hall is as well. They're both +1. Megan Kang out tomorrow afternoon. Like I'm worried that this group at +1 is gonna get vaporized in the afternoon tomorrow.
What's your windy app say about when things are coming in?
It's gonna be like 11 to noon, and then but the sun's gonna start coming out too. So it's gonna warm up as well.
Okay.
So we got Lexi at +2, which I think your horror show comment maybe didn't apply to Lexi.
No, but you got to wonder. She seems like maybe the energy vampire, just sucking the blood from Jin Young Ko and Nelly.
She's also out at 2:35 tomorrow afternoon. So
Jin Young Ko could not have hit it worse than she did today. I mean,
Like, it's startling.
it was very, I mean, on 17, she was so far left. I thought, like, is this going in the ocean? Like, this is really bad. It was startling.
Frankly, it's unbecoming of a number one.
Yeah.
yeah,
And where she just set the all-time record for most weeks at number one, it's not good. It's not good. I
When's-
put her on notice at the end of KPMG.
and she hasn't won any real majors yet either.
Exactly. It's not good.
When's the last time she was competitive in a major? Is what I like. She really like was in contention. That's
question.
I mean, I think like
She's got some yellow on her Wikipedia, but
It could be that Patrick Cantlay stolen valor yellow
Yeah.
though.
like she was sniffing around at KPMG,
Yeah.
but not really like,
it was interesting that she came like a full week ahead of time. Like she was here like at the start of the week before.
Although
because
she said
wanted
she
to
just
play.
wanted to eat oysters.
Could have been some bad oysters
Bad
out there.
oysters.
So you gotta
She
have a
was
good
probably
oyster
posted
guy.
up at the Ferry Building
Yeah.
in San Francisco.
If you don't have a good oyster person, then you really could potentially like a bad scene.
TC keep cooking.
yeah, we've got Rose. We'll talk Rose. We've got Grace Kim, Madeline Sagstrom,
Can I shout out somebody?
Ayaka Frue.
Foodaway.
Frue.
Anyway,
I want to shout out another at 74 +2 who I think is a grinder, Bronte Law.
Yeah.
Yup.
Some whiffs, if you will, of Graham McDowell. Just some whiffs.
Is somebody who I'm looking to come up the board tomorrow. Andrea Lee, +2, goes off at 8:00 tomorrow.
Yeah.
I think Andrea played pretty well today. Aline Crowder,
Stanford.
Stanford. She's off early tomorrow as well, +2. And then we're starting to get down into it's not really like Lynn Grant, really, really disappointed. +3 today. Just like seemingly didn't have it.
did she start okay? Because I feel like I walked past her at some point and she felt like she had it under par, and I was like, oh,
I think she was like 1 or 2 over,
Okay.
like pretty early.
Not good on the green.
Cody, Grace Summerhays, anything you want to say? Not a bad performance, +3.
Cody doesn't have a mic.
Okay. I'll take that as a no. She's beating Nelly Korda. Soyeon Ryu plus 4.
Cody's sitting in the corner. We put
Yeah.
baby in the corner.
Yeah. Lydia. We gotta talk Lydia.
Lydia was. I mean, I think everybody has seen the shot tracer off of number 5, the par.
I think she hit one over Charles Schwab's
so I was
house.
there. If you'd like a description of
please.
that. I mean, it was bonkers how far left it was. I thought that's got to be 100 yards. It was the snappiest hook. I think Solly, described it in our Slack as like both a hook and a shank. Somehow.
Hook shank.
Yeah, they were like explaining to her on the tee, like she had to get one of the volunteers to come over who's like lives here, and he's like, yeah, there's like some bushes there, and like I think you're probably gonna need to hit another one, like just to be safe. She was, I mean, I think where it compounded it though was hit not a great next shot, hit a really poor bunker shot after that, hit like a really skanky chip, and it was just like, oh my god, like I just made 7. She seemed so in control and like so kind of had it going early. I thought, oh my god, of course she's going to shoot 4 under today. She just hasn't missed a shot, and then was like, oh, just gave back 4 right there. That was pretty hard to sort of overcome.
And there was the backstopping incident on 6.
That also happened.
You saw that up close
did
and
see that.
personal. Yeah. I was standing right behind you. It was.
I'm sorry. That you
I
had to
know.
see that,
I had
TC.
tears in my eyes.
Yeah.
I'm sorry for any kids that had to.
I
see
didn't
that.
have the courage to bring that up with Rose afterwards.
Did you talk to Keegan, your daughter, about it at all?
We haven't gone over backstopping yet. She's back there behind us, so we'll go make sure. We're talking a lot about a lot of different etiquette things today. We did talk a lot about pace of play. I was like,
Don't be that person.
here's a good example of why you cannot like start your process like after someone has hit their shot. Like that needs to happen way sooner. She was
Good stuff.
by the end of it, she was like, yeah, Dad, like Brooke's taking a long time.
I will say Lydia, she did make quad on number 5,
Mhm.
and she played the other 17 holes even par.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
bad bogey on 18, honestly.
Mhm.
It's actually a pretty decent round of golf.
She
all
hung
things
around.
considered.
Yeah, I'll be curious how she does tomorrow. I just, when you start thinking about eventual winners, I just don't think you can win a major with a quad
Yeah.
on, on your card.
Only
But
2 people have ever won a major in the men's with a triple. I think like it's not. We make a big
and I
number.
believe nobody's won them like the Masters. I always remember because
Yeah.
Phil.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway,
We got Ataya at plus 4 as well. Like the top
The
4
top 4,
players
like,
in the world.
number
like,
1
suck.
in the world,
Show,
Jin
yeah.
Young Ko shot 79. Number 2 in the world, Nelly shot 76. Number 3 in the world, Lydia Ko shot 76. Number 4 in the world, Lilia Vu shot 79. Now, we do know Lily has been battling injuries. I guess Nelly has been battling injuries,
It's kind of a are you hurt or you injured
A
kind
little
of thing
bit.
with Nelly though.
but it's a bit of a disaster for I'm sure it's not, what the LPGA was dreaming about coming into this week.
Yeah. And have you talked Nelly much before I arrived? Is that
No, not much.
okay?
Honestly, you saying that she was tense. What else did you notice?
Well, so we were very excited. We daughter and I we went out to go sort of follow that group at the beginning. They start on 10, which is always a tough draw when you start on 10.
you're talking.
But you don't
Yeah.
have to tell me. You don't have to tell me.
But she basically hit it on the beach with her first swing of the whole deal. I mean, it was so far
Is
right.
the beach OB or can you go down there?
I've always thought the beach was in play, but maybe there's different local rules
Yeah.
for the major. Maybe in the pro-am, the beach. I saw some kids walk up from the beach and get scolded by.
Really?
Yeah, they were sent back to where they came. But she just was like that kind of completely, mixed double to start, and that kind of completely had her, I think, tense right from the beginning, and. Like she's not a good cold weather player, and it does suck to start on 10, but
Florida woman.
it's a national championship. You gotta, just
Well, and that feeds into, I think, some criticisms we've had. Like you brought up wonderfully, was it Chevron week or KPMG week where all of her wins is
It's like
on
dome
courses
golf.
where she can get out into double digits under par and just run.
yeah.
And
like
not
20,
much-
25 under par.
Like not much grind there.
Yeah. Look, I think honestly that like her driving is obviously great. Her short game is kind of not great. I mean, she had a bunch of things today where she missed with irons and like needed to get up and down, which we knew was kind of coming into Pebble was going to be a thing that, the winner was going to be someone who could scramble. The greens are too small, and she just didn't really have that well today.
Well, she's gonna get nuked in the wind tomorrow.
Probably.
Her stats gained is interesting for, we're obviously talking bad about her, but she was essentially even off the tee, which for her is not good.
Right.
But
She needs to
it's
pick
not
up
like
a couple
she's
strokes
giving
there.
strokes back. Her approach, she was plus 0.12, so essentially even. Her short game was minus 1.65, but then she was plus 1 putting.
Yeah.
It just, it was that bad start. I think she was 5 over at one point on her front 9, and then she birdied 3.
Got it back to 2, which I thought, okay, now she's
Right.
like, she's got the nerves out. She's going to be okay. And then makes 2 bad bogeys.
2 late ones
Yeah.
that just,
I just wonder, remember, we talked about this at the beginning of the year, Randy, like, is her swing so pretty that it sort of covers up some other kind of inadequacies in her game, like the Adam Scott sort of stuff of like, hey, you should have probably won more majors. I mean, look, she's so young. It's not an Adam Scott comp in terms of his whole career yet, but with these predictions of like, oh my gosh, she's going to win so many majors. This is, every single week, it's like, describe Nelly Korda's swing in 1 word on Instagram. It's such Instagram bait, or clickbait for all these things.
And is she playing golf swing, not golf?
I mean, I think there are definitely times when she does not know where the ball is going. I mean, I watched like Lydia Ko a couple times today tee it way down, like, an inch off of the ground and hit like these piercing drives to find the fairway and then just figure it out from there. And that was a good example to me. I thought like, boy, does Nelly have that kind of, third gear that she can put it in instead of going 4 or 5, all just hammering it away. That's maybe what she needs to kind of evolve into something is like a more complete different speeds, off kind of a pitcher who's like, well, I don't have my fastball today, so I'm going to throw sliders.
I think that's, I don't disagree with any of that.
And I think like sometimes when we have these conversations, it's like, oh, I think it's unfair to criticize Nelly. She's 24 or whatever. Well, like the expectations come with like, I think a fair sort of assessment of who you are. Like we expect a lot. And if you're going to gush over how great her swing is, then you can talk about how there are some things in the game that probably, want to see more of. That's a fair.
That's
critique.
where, like, Jordan, I'll pose this to you. I get so frustrated sometimes with I watch as much women's golf as I do men's golf. And sometimes I feel like there's a double standard there where it's like, oh, you're being hard on Nelly. I'm like, no, I'm just talking about Nelly like I would any other golfer. And like, do you ever notice that covering, especially on the amateur side, covering women's golf to where it's like, hey, like if you want to be, in the, like, you want equality, you're going to get equality on both sides,
Sure.
right? You're like, I'm going to be harsh on you as I am on another person with a Goldman Sachs hat on, Patrick Cantlay.
Yeah. No, I definitely think there's a lot of softballing, especially in terms of like how much grace we give players. Like I think we have a tendency to give a lot of grace to players on the women's side versus the men's side. There's a lot less grilling, a lot less vetting, and like I don't know. I look at a player like Nelly and I think like, at what point do we stop searching for something? Because like the pretty swing does kind of mask a lot of things. And it's like, she really has not lived up to expectation. And sure, she's young and sure there's time, but like, at what point do we almost consider moving on?
And I want to be clear about something because I'm sure some people like, have I hyped up Nelly in the past? Of course.
Mm-hmm.
Like, did I want Nelly to be like this world beater that would go out and win, Neil said 11 majors? Like, I want that very badly. So
to be fair, Neil said everybody's going to win 11 majors.
That's true. So, I mean, I like real talk, I feel like, okay, we sat there and we hyped her up and we want her to be this thing. And then when she isn't that thing, it's like, then we poke holes. But, all you can do is kind of react to what you're seeing when you're seeing it. And
you are what your record is, kind of, right?
And I think at the end of the day, like, what I like to do is, pretend the 4 of us are sitting around and we are having drinks. And it's like, let's just discuss golf. Like,
Sure.
It'd be so easy to be like, anybody, let's just temper expectations.
Yeah.
Let's just like, just like, is that the rational thing to do? Of course it is, but it's not necessarily like the fun thing to do.
I think on the female golf LPGA side of things too, it's not just a gender thing. It's also like there's so many young players, and that the prime is so much younger than it is for men. Where like we were looking at the field composition a couple days ago, and there's 3 players in the field older than 39 this week. Like that's crazy. And you know, like a lot of these players, their career's done by the time they turn 28, 29, 30. Like it's just a different window.
And Nelly's been a pro for 8 years.
Yeah.
You know, or 7 years. We had an interesting conversation at dinner last night about, and Jordan, I actually, because you were staying home and writing, you weren't at dinner. We were just talking about, it seems like, and women's golf specifically, but I think you could apply it to a lot of sports. If somebody accomplishes something at 18, 19, 20 years old on the women's side, I think our tendency is just to take that and project it almost linearly, or, you know, ideally it's like shooting up, but that projection, it's not necessarily linear. And I don't know, with the earlier maturation of typically of females, perhaps they are what they are at an earlier age, and you know, we can't like dream on them as much if they do something at 20, 21, 22. I don't know. I don't know if that makes sense, but does any of that resonate with you?
Yeah, I mean, there's certainly a lot of hype. Like, maybe some people were concerned about Rose, right? Like the whole peaking too early thing. I think she's kind of evaded that mostly, but yeah, I mean, you see it a lot in the amateur game. It's like, oh wow, this person has done this, and that, even before they step foot on a college campus, and then
it's like Amari Avery,
right? Well, right, and I mean, maybe Amari's a little bit of a different example here, but in terms of like, there's these top-notch juniors that come through. They dominate the AJGA, they dominate their state amps, they do everything under the sun, and then they get to college golf and they're nowhere to be found. And you can see that on the men's side too. That does happen a lot, but it's like, yeah, we kind of take that really small window and just say, oh, this person's going to be a world beater. Just wait. And yeah, and I think the window on the women's side is always so much shorter, and it's tough. It's tough to predict, but it's like, how much time do you really have to make that projection?
Yeah.
That's what I think is so interesting about Leona Maguire. Is she's what, 28, and she seems to kind of like still be scratching the surface and getting her peak out of her, when most players out there, their career is fully baked or you know, almost kind of complete at 28. Like we know what they are, and we don't know what Leona is.
Leona's got that Max home in her.
Yeah,
she's just starting out.
She's the number 1 amateur for how many weeks?
It's incredible. And I think she struggled transitioning to the professional game. And like she, like week after week after week, like she's somebody who learns her lesson and immediately rebounds from it, man. It's so impressive to actually watch in person.
that's why, like, the more and more I think about this golf course and what we talked about in the preview pod and all that, like the more and more I'm just like, I'm going to go follow Leona tomorrow, because I think she's the most interesting case study for not only this golf course, but also, you know, like she doesn't necessarily, like she's greater than the sum of her parts when she's playing good golf as well. Kind of reminds me of like Graham McDowell, who won here in, what was that, 2010? Like, you know, kind of like, hey, like not the most spectacular player in the field, but knows how to get the ball in the hole and gritty as hell.
I'll tell you what, just guys, we have strokes gain data, so we just got to use it. But Leona, who shot a 69 today, strokes gained off the tee, essentially neutral, gained like a 0.3. And her putting was just fine, gained another 0.3. But her approach, she gained 3.2 shots on approach play. And then her short game was plus 2.7.
Seems like a good recipe.
It's not like she was pouring in, you know, it's not like she was pouring in putts. Seems like a really good recipe.
Yeah.
Can I follow up one thing on the kind of projection thing?
Please.
Did Annika, and obviously Tiger did this on the men's side, but did Annika's like later success in her career kind of like fool us into thinking that was more of a natural progression of like, hey, you're winning majors in your 30s? Like, of course that can happen for other people. Whereas like history has probably shown, like if you haven't won your majors by the time you're 30, I mean, Lydia Coase talked for years about, I'm going to retire by the time I was 30. And I used to think that was crazy. And then the more I sort of realized, it's like, no, that's kind of a normal career path. You turn pro at 14, 15, whatever she did.
Mhm.
You do your, almost 20 years, and you're like, yeah, I'm good.
You see NB, you see
Well,
Lorena Ochoa, you see Sean
And
Fang.
I was
Yeah.
going to say another interesting Lydia.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
what she did in her mid-teens, late teens,
Mhm.
wanting to project that out. And there are always outside variables, right? Certainly it's not purely just your play. There's injuries, there's
Sure.
coaching, there's whatever. Yeah, I don't know. I honestly think for me, probably Tiger has like ruined Tiger has ruined how I just consume golf. I really believe that. Not ruined, but he has so influenced how I consume golf.
Or just like what you think is possible or
In
reasonable.
almost like what the
right?
standard of
Yeah.
greatness
Yeah.
has to be. Because we've all seen that. It's like if you're not there, then we know you're not like we know there's another degree of greatness.
Yeah.
And that's just like such an impossible standard.
Yeah, I mean, but I'm saying, like, I guess Annika's I think a unique case, right? Like in the women's game in general, like was a good player who then suddenly became like the greatest player of her
Oh, you're gonna get
Mm.
TC fired up here.
I will abstain from making any
But
bad
the
comments.
fact that she's here makes me, competing in her 50s, kind of makes me kind of think about her in general and be like, all right, will we see another person who basically decides, all right, I'm going to put off having a family until
married to the game.
yeah, I'm truly like, suck every last bit of my talent possible. Or is it the projection of things going to be like, look, there's a lot of money in the game now. I can make what I want. I can do what I can until I'm 28, 29. And then I'm going to, like, how much longer is Lexi going to play? Like this is someone who, should have won.
She hasn't looked like she's enjoyed golf for a while.
Talked to a couple players and they're like, Lexi's like quiet quitting.
Yeah.
Like she's like doing the bare minimum for sponsors and just playing as she should, but not like she's not trying to be great, which I don't even begrudge her for that.
Yeah.
Right. This is her 17th US Open.
Right.
That's just insane.
She's 28.
Let me say this. The one thing about Annika that kind of goes overlooked too is that number one, she's at like the perfect age, graduated college in the early mid 90s, to where she was young enough and able to implement all these massive changes in equipment very, very fast. She was on the cutting edge of working out. And I'm not even talking about anything outside of
alleged
guys. I'm not
natural stuff. I'm not going down there.
There's
What I am
smoke.
saying is
There's
that
smoke there.
she was actually in the gym prior to any of her peers that were playing on the LPGA tour or anybody coming up afterwards. I mean, she's been fit her entire career, and she's been aided by the advances in technology and in the golf clubs.
Yeah.
And that's where you saw it. That's where you saw this incredible performance from her age, like 25 all the way up until now.
So for context, Annika won the U.S. Open actually in 95 and 96 as I think 25 and 26-year-old. And then it was 5 more years until she won another major. And she famously got to 10 total. So, 8 of those coming after the age of 30.
It's kind of a Mickelson deal.
It is a Mickelson deal.
Yeah.
I'm not saying, after our whole discussion, I'm not saying she's going to do this. But if you were to ask me, like Leona seems like absolutely somebody who could pick off 2, 3, 4 majors in her 30s.
And she seems relatively singularly focused on golf. Like she loves golf and she loves competing, and she's like, she doesn't seem all that interested. Like, this is what I want to do, at least for the next 6, 7, 8 years. I'm going to pour myself into this and try to win majors.
It seems like she's got a lot of give a damn on the course.
Yeah.
And I really like
She's
that.
locked in.
Because you don't get that a lot of places.
Yeah.
And
I will say about Nelly, we've sort of said, I do think Nelly gives a damn. I mean, she is frustrated when she hits bad shots. She wants to be good. And I was trying to write a little bit of a Nelly feature previous Open, she got hurt, so the availability didn't really come together. One thing like her agent was emphasizing is like, she's this true golf sicko. Like, she doesn't care about like, oh, I want to be like this standard bearer for the women's game. I want to sort of inspire kids. She's like, she wants to hit wedges for like 2 hours, which is, that's great. That's awesome to see. Be an obsessive about. That's how you get to be great, not to be like this projection of bigger than your sport kind of thing.
But also, there's some sort of X factor to where there's a difference in giving a damn and knowing how to apply the give a damn
I was gonna
in
say
the moment,
channeling
and
it.
like that's where like Leona, like watching her up close at the Solheim Cup in Toledo, like watching her like go for people's throats was sick. And it's like, you know what, like you proved there, and like now I want to see that in more tournament golf, or I want to see that in majors, but I know it's in there.
Sure.
Whereas with Nelly, I don't know that that's in there. I know that the desire is there, but I don't know that the application is
I think
there.
when she won the KPMG and played so incredibly well for those rounds, whatever, it was a little bit closer on the last day. It just made you think like, oh my gosh, she's got this totally figured out. Like of course she's going to do this and be great. And maybe I always think about this with like Rory, like
she feels a lot like Rory.
Maybe that was the outlier. And like the rest of it is now sort of how you're normal. But the outlier stuff will always make you think about the possibilities of like, oh gosh, what if we got 2014 Rory all the time? Well, maybe 2014 Rory was just 2014 Rory.
Yeah.
In 2014, Rory was the one going deep and going 15, 16, 18 under.
Yeah.
And that's what Nelly does.
And
right?
there will be majors like that again, where like she's, who knows
sure.
like what the Evian's going to be like, or the Chevron. Like those could be the majors that Nelly picks off a bunch of those. US Open's always kind of going to
Those are half majors though.
I'm preaching the choir there. I understand. It's maybe 0.8 majors. I mean, that way everything kind of adds up still to 4 majors. So the US Open will still be 1, but Evian will be half.
Since there's really only 3 real majors, like US Open, Women's PGA, and Women's British might count for more.
That's true.
Might count for like 1.25 majors.
God, I love this thing.
All right, we're gonna figure out the math. I love this discussion. I think a lot of this stuff we can hit on throughout the week. Super curious how we see certain players respond tomorrow, or follow up good performances tomorrow. Jordan, talk to us about Emilia Migliaccio.
Oh goodness.
And that's a total like no segue there. But we were talking this morning, and for those that don't know, she's playing. She's doing on-course reporting, and then she's playing. I think today she reported first and then played this afternoon. Tomorrow she'll play in the morning and then work for NBC in the afternoon. Is this a good thing? What are your thoughts on this?
Listen, I respect Emilia's game. I think she's a great player. And I don't know what to make of the rest of her amateur career. I don't know, if she's gonna cruise and live the mid-am lifestyle. Who's to say, right? But I'm not really happy with this whole Hannah Montana double life thing that she's trying to pull off here.
Oh,
like,
what a callback!
Be so for real right now. Do you want to be a reporter, or do you want to play in a major championship? Pick one.
Take one or the other seriously. And the people at NBC Universal, like,
I was gonna say,
don't put her that in that.
Yeah, are they putting her in a bad spot?
Well, the thing is, she committed to the broadcast before she qualified, so it's just like, okay. And then she asked, if they could accommodate her, and they did. And I guess 4 over. I don't know, Emilia. You got to pick. You got to pick, because this isn't working out for you, clearly.
I mean, Deion Sanders didn't have to pick. Coach Prime.
You get her a chopper from one end of the course to the other. You can do a little both.
I am asking woman to woman. I need Emilia to pick.
Stu Hagestad, he didn't have to pick, right? He's
married to the finance team.
He's getting his MBA, and I think that was.
Can you imagine?
That was trumped up pretty hard.
Stu hopped on television. No, and then
it's outrageous.
It's not.
She had a press conference on Tuesday or Wednesday, and it's like,
Jack Nicklaus used to come into the booth all the time after he'd play during majors.
But it's like, why? Like, it's like Emilia seems like a wonderful person. She seems very genuine, but like why is she having a press conference? Like, why has she got a press conference and not any of the other far more decorated amateurs in the field?
She was the only amateur to have a press conference,
right? I don't know. It just seems weird. It just seems a little bit not thirsty, but it just seems like they're looking for a good story from her.
It's a lot of walking, I gotta say. Someone who walked
There's a
27
lot,
today. I'm
lot.
like,
It's
whoa,
not
yeah,
just that she's
36.
in the like, media tent here. It's like she's an on-course reporter.
Yeah.
Yeah, like it's not like she's sitting in a booth or a tower
Right.
somewhere. She's walking the course. We might need an Emilia Migliaccio blocky.
I don't hear you guys complain
match.
about this one. Beamer does this every single year at the PGA Championship. He goes out, he walks, Sky makes it so he does morning, opposite wave, whatever he's playing in his past champion category.
I've never heard one thing about that though.
I know it's not like a story.
Listen, I'm trying to give her the benefit of the doubt. It is a bit much. What I will say today is that she's awesome with the crowds. She's awesome with the volunteers. She's awesome with
Sounds
everybody
like
who comes
blocky.
into it. And I know it is very much a blocky thing. But what it sounds like is like, she qualified for the U.S. Open. The rest of the year, she's full-time like broadcast.
Which I think
don't-
is fantastic. I think it should be, Emilia, you qualified for the U.S. Open. There's going to be more U.S. Opens where you can commentate. Like, just enjoy the week, prepare and play as well as you can.
And there's plenty. Like, where is she doing commentary on the other majors? Like, if she really wants to do that, like, then send her to the other majors to commentate.
Well, NBC doesn't work like that. It's
Like, that's
Church
the
and state
thing.
on
It's
who
like
gets
if
to
you want to
commentate
if
on
you want to
some
take the
men's events and
broadcast
women's
stuff
events
seriously,
sometimes.
then go take that seriously and do that at the other ones, and then compete when you're competing. Right? I don't
Yeah.
know. It's more of a commentary on Comcast, Golf Channel, NBC than it is
And who
probably
knows?
on Emilia.
Maybe they asked her. Maybe she wasn't forced to be.
Maybe
I'm sure
like,
she wasn't.
we realize you. Yeah, that's true. We
But
don't know.
even when asked that question, like, oh, you don't have to do this, but we all you're gonna do 26 events the rest of the year. This also would be really good for you.
It's just Aunt Molly trying to win the
Puts
press
everybody
release.
in a really bad situation. Do you know who like the ultimate loser out of all of this is? It's her, because it's either her game or her performance, like calling the golf.
Yeah.
Like at the end of the day, she was going to lose on either end.
It's her and the fans. It's her and the fans. Like Emilia the golfer, who just won the national championship, who's won 2 Curtis Cups, who's won a North and South. We bring out Emilia the golfer. There's not much of it.
Speaking of Curtis Cups, Splash World, Pine Valley announcement. That's cool, huh?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I am so ready. Oh gosh.
When is it? 2034 or
Where-
something?
Yeah.
Can I sign up for that media day
Wait,
right now?
what
Is that,
year?
can I put my name for that?
we got 11
11.
years.
Oh, I don't want to think about me in 11
you-
years.
Yeah, you won't even be our age. All right, we're getting to that time. Let's kind of wrap it down. Let me ask you guys, what are we most excited for tomorrow? And I'll lead. I am most excited for hopefully some wind arriving. I want this to turn into a brutal, hard U.S. Open test. I think 20 people being under par today, that's too many. If I need to be consistent, I would say that's way too many on the men's side, and I think it's way too many on the women's side. We need the wind to blow. We need par to be an excellent score tomorrow. They're assuring me the wind is arriving. That's what I'm most excited for. Jordan, what are you most excited for?
I am as equally excited for the wind, and yeah, I just want to see who the best amateurs are this week. Like, tighten up that low am race. I need to see who the real dogs are. I need to see
Woof woof.
what
Woof.
Anya
What if Emilia
Gonna-
comes out and just stunts on you tomorrow?
stunt on me, Emilia.
You know what?
Stunt on me.
Amelia needs to come on the live show
That's
tomorrow
exactly,
night.
the triple play. Play then, do the NBC, come on the live shows and walk all over us.
All right.
The call has been sent out.
There it is.
Please.
KVV or Cody. Yeah. Grab the mic. Cody, what are you most excited
Well,
for tomorrow?
it's a weather call, so I'm flashing up on the screen the models that TC sent
This
over
isn't.
to us.
Yeah, this is from the National Weather Service,
Okay.
San Francisco Bay office, specifically for.
Did we not pay for? Is it a monthly subscription to the
No,
apps? We didn't get payment.
all the
in on time?
models. The models on like the GFS and the North American model and all that. They don't take into account the marine layer properly and the coastal conditions. So I'm going with the more subjective National Weather Service. Hey, like we live here, we know what this shit looks
Dick.
like.
Great thinking.
You feel me?
Yeah. Friday,
He's
mostly cloudy,
Looking out for the
breezy,
people.
high in the 60s and lower 70s. Northwest winds 10 to 20 miles per hour, increasing to west 20 to 30 miles per hour in the afternoon. We like that. That's what I'm looking forward to, Big.
Blow, baby, blow. They better not set the course up super easy.
They pretty
Trying
much
to get out in
they
front of
have to
this
set
wind.
it up the same as they did today for the most part.
Embarrass these gals. Big.
God,
Let's
they were-
embarrass them.
On the other hand, they were playing 5.5-hour rounds this afternoon.
Rough.
Believe me, I walked it.
There's no way they're getting it in tomorrow if it's blowing
blowing.
30. KVV, what are you most excited for?
I think so. I walked 18 with Rose today. I think she's going to play much better going forward. She hit her irons about as bad as she could hit them today. And I think it was, we talked to her a little bit afterwards. I stuck around for her media stuff. She's just a little bit nervous, just a little bit kind of like feeling like, you know, didn't have it and put herself in some bad spots. And she was like, you know, not really worried about it at all. She's like, I think I'm going to play better. I think she was like, it's kind of rough out there today, but I'm fine. And I was like, she just seems so kind of even chill. Like, I honestly think if that chip had gone in on 17, it would have been like the whole round would have been like, yeah, that was actually a success. Like, that was awesome. She was joking about it afterwards about how that was, you know, her favorite shot of the day. Got her heart racing a little bit. And so I'm excited to see her kind of rally a little bit.
The stats bear that out exactly. She did not lose any strokes anywhere, and she did not gain more than one stroke anywhere. She was plus 0.85 in driving, plus 0.22 approach, essentially level around the green, and then plus 0.4 putting. So just like a total, you know, fine. It was fine. And I think it is worth mentioning how much pressure she must be under.
Totally. And I think she just needed to kind of get this round of survival out of the way. She actually had it kind of going fine until 8. And then just, you know, one bad swing that, you know, if it carries another 5 yards or 10 yards, she might be able to chip that ball on. But, you know, she made a pretty good score back there from having hitting it on the green after having to walk back and you know, hit it again. But I think she's, if like even par is a good score tomorrow, I could see her shooting 70, 69, somewhere in there. Like, I think she's going to go flying over the board.
I think she validates like what she's about tomorrow. Has a chance to. Like, if she goes out and shoots 70, 71, it's like, okay.
Yeah. She just, I mean, she's every ball that she hits off the tee feels like it's going to find the middle of the fairway, and she never seems like she's swinging hard. You know, I mean, that
was like her floor today.
She's seen a lot more of Rose than I have, but this was like the first time I've seen her in person, like consistently, you know, play like put together a full round of golf. And I was just like, wow, this, when it's good, it's really good. And I could tell a couple times today, I was like, oh, she just doesn't quite have it today, but it didn't really ever get ugly.
TC,
I want to see if Leona can go out early, go out 8:30, like assert herself, and then just
you got me fired up.
sit back and like go have a Guinness in the tap room tomorrow afternoon.
Roll your sleeves up
and watch the carnage and like put your feet up and have a bowl of chowder and just, you know, just say, hey, like, you know, I'll be there Saturday afternoon, but you guys deal with this. Like, that would be would be an alpha move. And then I'm stoked too to just see who asserts themselves from this group at kind of that even +1.
Yeah.
You know, Megan Kang, like going out in the afternoon, like, can you find that even par round to stay in this tournament? Because there's going to be a really fine line between staying at even or +1 and getting eviscerated tomorrow afternoon, I think.
Yeah, it's like who can hold that 71,
hold the line, and then try to,
or who's going to shoot like 76, 77.
Yeah, but yeah, so that's, I don't know, that's kind of where I'm at as far as like what I'm excited about. And like, I think one other name that we haven't really mentioned, and like Yuka's in that group as well, Minji, like there's some really talented players there, but like one name that we haven't mentioned at all, Danielle Kang, won over today, and like feels like another, you know, kind of an opportunity there to.
And when we talk about some dog, like Danielle's got some dog,
for better or worse.
For better or worse. Like, you don't know what that dog's up to sometimes, but that dog exists.
For sure. Another name that we mentioned in the preview pod that we were like, oh, just put yourself in position. Just don't kill yourself on round one. Angel Yin, right there, 1 under. and she'll go out. She'll go after anything. It does not matter. So
Which is
impressed.
scary because
Very,
she's going to
very
be
impressed.
playing in the afternoon tomorrow.
Very,
Yep.
but man, she just makes it through her second round. She's gonna be in such a good spot, man. I'm so excited. We actually saw her when we were driving in, right out the window, gave her a little wave. She's like, "What's up?"
Two
She's
greens on the right.
Oh, hey, crew.
3T. We're rolling through. Randy's driving. Hey, Angel. Oh, hey guys, how are you?
Runing Yin's another one. I'm super curious, and she's got some wild stats today. She was plus 3.5 off the tee, and her approach play was minus 5.25 strokes.
Is that a glitch?
Her short game was plus 4.1, and her putting was plus 0.3. Like
She chip in like 9 times.
she had, you want to talk about grease ball round? It sounds like she had the ultimate grease ball round. And she only made 1 bogey today.
Thank goodness you finally brought that around to what the eye test would tell you. Because what the hell's going? You're not Sully. Just because you're the host.
No,
What's
he's
up with
fine.
these
Look at
toys?
these
toys. I got all these toys. I got to play
Come
with
on,
them.
man.
I got to play with them. They're
I'm gonna start
great
calling you
toys.
Watson.
Well, no, I think if you would look at her scorecard, I just want to drive home how awesome it is to have this data.
Yeah.
Because if you would look at Runing Yin's scorecard today, you'd see 15 pars, 2 birdies, and a bogey, and be like, just whatever.
Normal round.
Yeah, and you look, she lost 5 shots in her approach play. It's incredible.
It's like you, Randy.
It's a good bar. All right, TC, a couple shout outs, and then we'll call it an evening here and go eat. Some non-US Women's Open.
Oh,
your
yeah,
TC
it was really windy today at the John Deere. I just want to shout out Ludwig. He hung in there.
What are we
Was
doing?
3 under, 4
TC's
under.
kids. Big Shot Bob.
PGAtour.com had
No, Big Shot Bob.
yeah, Big Shot Bob's the first round leader. Bob McIntyre. He's been
Okay.
pressing, trying to get on that Ryder Cup team. Just relax, big dog. You're gonna win the Maiden Himmerland this week. The Vision Fund is on you. And Grayson Murray, your boy, Cody.
What the fuck? What are you talking about?
Your
Is
boy. Your
PGAtour.com had a
Thick as
big
thieves.
feature on
Get out of
his
here.
newfound maturity and how it's yielding these results all of a sudden. So I just wanted to give a shout out to Grayson Murray as well.
Might be a spot for him on the Smash. With Brooks coming out today and saying that
True.
Matthew Wolff has ruined his
Yeah, how
career.
about that?
I mean, if Smash is looking for, I know there's a period of where we're not allowed to sign new players, but Grayson could be
We're in the free
newfound
agency
maturity. He could
moratorium
slide
period.
right in there. Yeah.
Who knows if he
Just
fits
saying.
under the first apron for the cap though?
Oh.
All right.
I got one thing.
Yeah, please.
Insuck Cho or whatever his name is, has been on me all live show about this. There was a DQ today.
Oh my God.
There was.
Of course
Oh
there
yeah,
was.
we had this on the agenda
Oh
even.
my God.
Do you need
hold
a
on.
pronunciation guide before
I
we
do.
get there?
I
Do I
got a
have to-
pronunciation guide.
Do I have to say it?
Yes.
All right, let's turn to the page.
It's V, right?
Yeah. So she's a PGA Tour rookie.
Natakri Tavong Tavilap. I think that was pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Natakrita
I
Vongtavilap.
really wish we had not had this pronunciation guide because I would have loved to see you guys attempt that
Natakrita
without it.
Vong Tavilap. I guess her caddy just wouldn't stop using a rangefinder. The guy just kept using a rangefinder or gal. I'm not sure if it was
We
gal.
don't know.
Just kept shooting numbers. Distance measuring device.
What are you gonna do? Stab me?
Yeah, we call that fracture side in the business. Just blazing everything. Would not stop.
Or shout out to Precision Pro. Right?
I mean, that's tough. Him or her's got to feel so bad.
Rookie too.
Yeah, because coming off the KPMG where it was, the PGA of America allows it,
Yeah.
and just you got to read the rules.
What if this is her first major?
Oh, that's tough. So yeah, Cody, great call there.
I would ask TC if he wanted to spell that if he didn't have the sheet so I could Google it and see if it was your first major, but he's gonna
My
cheat.
computer died.
My computer died.
All right, we're getting a little slap happy. We're gonna go get some food.
We're actually eating Thai food in honor of the DQ.
in honor of
Exactly.
the DQ.
Maybe we can go get some DQ after too.
Hey.
Sounds good right now.
Cody, you were running around like a madman. So thank you very much for getting us set up
No
and getting
problem.
us
Thank you to
dialed.
Jordan.
Thank you to Jordan. We told her we were hoping she would, take a run at Emilia, which she did. Tomorrow, KVV, not to put you on the spot, but I believe at some point you're going to write about Michelle Wee. I think we're going to spend some time. Michelle Wee West. I'm sorry. We're going to spend some time tomorrow. Likely her final round. I'm guessing she's going to MC Hammer.
We were really hoping. My daughter and I were talking about this in the car. I hope that the USJ has sort of set this up so she's walking up 18 for the end. I didn't look, but it would be pretty sad if she ends up walking up 9 for like her final deal. So let's.
No, that would be flagrant if they did that. I gotta think. If you vamp a little bit, I can find it.
She started on 10 today. She's finishing on 18. I'm flashing a picture up. You talk about your daughter. You talked about her a couple times this show. She's obviously out here with us this week, but kind of describe to the people what you guys have been up to, what this opportunity is, and what everything you got cooking.
So my daughter Keegan is with me this week. It's just been an awesome opportunity to show her like her first major that she's gotten to attend. Big Roseanne fan, got to meet her after the rounds today. Lydia Ko was so nice to her, waved us over yesterday in the practice round and said, "Can I take a picture with you?" Like, and it was saying it was just basically like the coolest person, and just such a kind of a neat thing to see, like, your kid falls in love with the game, and then like the professional athletes that she ends up liking turn out to be like welcoming and warm people, and both of them gave her a ball today, and it's just been an awesome thing so far, and I know it's gonna continue, but I've thanks to the USGA too for being sort of cool enough to say like, hey, it's okay if she walks with you, like we're good at that. She's a golfer, she's gonna play in future USGA events hopefully, and so she understands like where you go and where you don't go and all that stuff, and so it's been an awesome opportunity for us so far, and I'm just really
and I will say for anybody listening, not just obviously this week, anytime the LPGA Tour rolls through your town, it is a wonderful opportunity to take kids out and introduce them to the professional game. The LPGA players, honestly, the most happy and excited I see them is when they're interacting with young kids. So that's wonderful.
Yeah, ran into a lot of really awesome followers, listeners, you name it out there. We also you guys ran into another kid that rides also in a small school bus, Fluff. It was great for you guys to see.
My caddy Fluff. We had we were a lot of commiserating about our round around Pebble a couple months ago.
Fluff was standing on 7T, and I was like, 165, huh? He's like, I kind of got fooled on that one.
Oh, damn, I might have broken the. No, I actually ended up making it. Anyway, all right, we got to get out of here. Thank God if you're still watching the live show. I guess some West Coasters, maybe East Coasters, you deserve a medal.
We got
Super
our
excited.
podcast listeners though too,
and our podcast listeners Friday. Tune in, find the coverage, Peacock USA feature group online, and let's have a day tomorrow. We're gonna find out who's a contender, who's a pretender.
I think hopefully they will be leaning into the carnage in the afternoon on the main broadcast.
Let's hope
tomorrow instead of just feature group.
Amen. All right, Co, man, get us out of here.
Perfect. Cheers.
Peace.